I was halfway through my second cup of coffee when my phone rang at 2:47 a.m. on a Friday morning. The blue light from the screen cut through the darkness of my Phoenix hotel room, showing a local number I didn't recognize. Hello? Mr. Robert Chen? Yes. Who's calling? Sir, this is Officer Marcus Thompson with the Phoenix Police Department. I need you to stay exactly where you are and listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. My hand tightened around the phone. At 62 years old, you learn that calls from the police in the middle of the night are never good news. What's wrong? Is it my son? Is David okay? Sir, that's what I'm calling about. I stopped your son about 20 minutes ago for a broken taillight on East Camelback Road. During a routine safety check of the vehicle, I found some items that concerned me greatly. I sat up in bed, my heart starting to pound. What kind of items? There was a pause. I could hear traffic in the background, the crackle of a police radio. Mr. Chen, I found rope, zip ties, industrial-strength sedatives, and a document that appears to be your last will and testament. The signature looks forged. The room seemed to tilt. I don't understand. Why would David have those things? Sir, I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly. How much money do you have? What does that have to do with anything? Please, Mr. Chen. How much? I just sold my restaurant chain last month. The money hit my account 2 weeks ago. $1.4 million. The officer exhaled slowly. Does your son know about this? Of course. He's my only child. I was planning to help him buy a house, pay off his debts. His wife Jennifer has been asking about it. Mr. Chen, where are you right now? At the Hilton in Scottsdale. I drove up to Vegas for the weekend. Won about $30,000 at the tables. I was supposed to drive home tomorrow morning. Why? Sir, when I stopped your son, he was 3 blocks from your house. At 2:30 inches the morning, with rope, sedatives, and a forged will. He told me he was waiting for someone. My mouth went dry. That's impossible. David would never. Mr. Chen, 7 years ago, my younger brother was murdered by his own son for $200,000. I saw the same look in your son's eyes tonight that I saw in my nephew's eyes at the trial. The coffee churned in my stomach. You're saying my son wants to kill me? I'm saying the evidence suggests he's planning something, and you having $1.4 million is a pretty strong motive. I need you to tell me the truth. Were you planning to go home tonight? I was going to drive back in the morning. David knows I always get home around 10 a.m. on Saturdays after these trips. Does he have a key to your house? He lives with me. He and Jennifer have been staying in the guest house for the past 8 months while they save for their own place. Officer Thompson was quiet for a moment. Mr. Chen, I think your son was planning to drug you when you got home tomorrow, stage a robbery, and kill you. The will would make him and his wife the sole beneficiaries. With you out of the way and a legal document, they'd inherit everything. I couldn't breathe. 62 years on this earth. 35 years building my restaurant business, from a single food truck to a chain of 15 locations. And this is what it came to? My own son plotting to murder me? What do I do? First, don't go home. Not yet. I'm bringing your son in for questioning right now. The forged will is enough to hold him, but I need you to check something for me. Do you have security cameras at your house? Yes. I can access them from my phone. Pull up the feed from your guest house, right now. My hands shook as I opened the app. The cameras took a moment to load, then the image appeared on my screen. The guest house was lit up. Through the window, I could see movement. David was there. And so was Jennifer. They were carrying boxes out to a truck I didn't recognize. What am I looking at? Officer Thompson asked. They're packing. Loading boxes into a truck. Can you zoom in on what's in those boxes? I tapped the screen, enhancing the image. My blood ran cold. Those are my belongings. That's my father's watch, my wife's jewelry, things from the main house. They're already clearing out your valuables. Mr. Chen, I need you to understand something. If you had come home this morning like you planned, I don't think you'd be alive by tomorrow night. My wife Elena had died 6 years ago from cancer. I'd raised David alone since he was 15. I'd given him everything. Paid for his college, his wedding, helped him when he lost his job. And this was how he repaid me? Officer Thompson, why are you doing this? Why help me? His voice cracked slightly. Because nobody helped my brother. Because when my nephew was arrested, everyone said there must have been signs. Well, I'm seeing the signs right now, and I'll be damned if I let it happen again. What should I do? Stay at that hotel. I'm going to bring your son in for questioning. The forged will is a crime, and I'm going to hold him as long as I can. But I need you to do something for me. Anything. Tomorrow morning, I need you to go to your bank. Take someone you trust. Document everything. Check for any unusual account activity, any attempted transfers, anything that looks wrong. Then get a lawyer. A good one. And then what? Then we build a case. Wire fraud. Attempted theft. Conspiracy. The forged will gives us a starting point. But Mr. Chen, I have to be honest with you. Even if we prove all this, even if we get him convicted, he's still your son. Are you prepared for what that means? I looked at the camera feed again. David was laughing at something Jennifer said as they loaded another box. My son. My only child. I'm prepared to stay alive, Officer Thompson. Good. Because that's what matters right now. He hung up. I sat in the dark hotel room, watching my son rob my house on my phone screen, and I started to cry. Not for the money he was trying to steal, not even for the life he was trying to take, but for the son I thought I had, who apparently never existed at all. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the cameras until sunrise. David and Jennifer loaded 7 boxes into that truck before they finally went to bed at 4:15 a.m. At 6 a.m., my phone rang again. Mr. Chen, it's Officer Thompson. Your son is in custody. He's not talking, but his wife is. She just gave a full confession. What did she say? She said it was all David's idea. That he'd been planning this for 3 months, since the day the money from your restaurant sale cleared. She said they were in debt for over $300,000. Credit cards, medical bills, a failed business venture. They were desperate. Desperate enough to kill me? According to Jennifer, David said you were old, that you'd had a good life, and that the money would be wasted on you anyway. He convinced her that it was practically their inheritance already, that they were just claiming it early. I felt sick. And the plan? You'd come home Saturday morning. David would make you breakfast, like he always did after your Vegas trips. The food would be laced with sedatives. Once you were unconscious, they'd stage a break-in. Jennifer would fire the gun. They bought it at a pawn shop in Tempe 2 weeks ago, and they'd call 911 saying they heard shots and found you dead. They'd play the grieving family. The forged will would hold up long enough for them to access the accounts. By the time anyone questioned anything, they'd be gone. Gone where? Costa Rica. Jennifer already had the tickets. They were leaving Monday morning. I closed my eyes. My son had planned this down to the last detail. The food truck I'd started when he was 5. The years of 16-hour days. The nights I'd gone without sleep to make sure he had everything he needed. It all came down to this. What happens now? I asked. Now you press charges. Full charges. Attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud, theft. Everything we can make stick. He's my son. Mr. Chen, he was going to kill you tomorrow. He's not your son anymore. He's a criminal who happens to share your DNA. Officer Thompson was right, but that didn't make it hurt any less. At 9 a.m., I met with my attorney, Richard Goldstein, who'd handled the sale of my restaurants. He took one look at my face and poured me a drink, even though it was morning. Robert, what happened? I told him everything. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. I'll be honest with you, Richard finally said. This is one of the worst cases of elder exploitation I've seen, and I've seen a lot. Your son and his wife would have gotten away with it too, if not for that traffic stop. What are my options? You prosecute. Fully. You make an example out of them. And you change your will immediately. We spent the next 4 hours at the bank in Richard's office. The evidence was damning. David had attempted 3 different transfers from my account over the past month, all blocked by the bank's fraud detection. He'd called my financial advisor twice, posing as me, trying to get account access. He'd even contacted a crematorium about pre-planning my funeral arrangements. My son had been planning to kill me for at least 2 months. On Monday morning, I sat across from David in the police station interview room. He wouldn't look at me. "Why?" I asked. He stared at the table. "You don't understand what it's like to have nothing while your parent sits on a fortune. I offered to help you. I was going to help you." "Help me? You were going to loan me money with strings attached. I wanted what was rightfully mine." "Rightfully yours?" "You were going to murder me, David." For the first time, he looked up. His eyes were cold. "You're old, Dad. You don't need that much money. What are you going to do with it? Buy things you don't need? You've already lived your life. So you decided to take mine?" "I decided to claim my inheritance early. That's all." That's when I knew. Officer Thompson was right. This wasn't my son. This was a stranger wearing my son's face. "I hope it was worth it," I said. "Because you're not getting a cent, and you're going to prison." "You wouldn't." "I already have. Full prosecution, attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud. Richard says you're looking at 20 years minimum." The color drained from his face. "Dad, please. I didn't actually go through with it. Nothing happened. Because you got caught. Not because you changed your mind. It was Jennifer's idea. Jennifer already told the police it was yours. She's testifying against you for a reduced sentence." David started to cry. "Please, Dad. I'm your only son. Your only family." I stood up. "I don't have a son. Not anymore." I walked out and never looked back. The trial was quick. Jennifer testified against David in exchange for 8 years. David got 25 to life for attempted murder, conspiracy, and a dozen other charges. The forged will added another 5 years. But here's what the news reports didn't cover. Here's what I really want to tell you. 2 weeks after the trial, I met Officer Marcus Thompson at a coffee shop in downtown Phoenix. He was off duty, wearing jeans and a tired smile. "How are you holding up?" he asked. "I'm alive, thanks to you. I was just doing my job." "No, you weren't. You went above and beyond. You saved my life." I slid an envelope across the table. He opened it and his eyes widened. "Mr. Chen, I can't accept this. It's a check for $100,000. And before you argue, there's more. I've set up college funds for your 3 children. Full rides, any school they want. And I bought a house for your mother, the woman who raised a son good enough to save a stranger's life. This is too much. It's not nearly enough. Your brother didn't get justice. Your family suffered. But because of you, I'm alive to make sure other people don't suffer the same way. I'm starting a foundation. The Marcus Thompson Elder Protection Fund. We're going to help seniors who are being exploited by family members. Legal fees, security systems, emergency housing, whatever they need." Officer Thompson's eyes filled with tears. "You don't have to do this." "Yes, I do. Because you showed me that strangers can be more family than blood relatives, that integrity matters more than DNA, and that sometimes the people who save your life are the ones you've never met before." We talked for 2 hours that day. He told me about his brother, about the nephew who'd betrayed them, about the guilt he still carried. I told him about Elena, about raising David alone, about the signs I'd missed or ignored. "You couldn't have known," Marcus said. "Neither could you with your brother." "Maybe, but at least I could stop it from happening to you." 3 months later, I was at Marcus's mother's new house for a barbecue. His kids called me Uncle Robert. His mother made tamales and told embarrassing stories about Marcus as a kid. For the first time in 6 years, since Elena died, I felt like I had a family again. Not a family of blood, but a family of choice. I still think about David sometimes. When I do, I don't think about the son who tried to kill me. I think about the 5-year-old who helped me clean tables at my first food truck. The 10-year-old who insisted on coming to work with me on Saturdays. The 15-year-old who held my hand at his mother's funeral and promised we'd get through it together. I don't know when that boy died and the stranger took his place. Maybe it was gradual. Maybe it was sudden. Maybe he was always there, and I just didn't see it. But I know this. I did everything I could. I was a good father. I gave him love, support, opportunities. What he chose to do with those things was on him, not me. And I know this too. The best family isn't always the one you're born into. Sometimes it's the police officer who stops your son at 2:30 a.m. and sees what no one else saw. Sometimes it's the attorney who works weekends to make sure you're protected. Sometimes it's the strangers who become friends and the friends who become family. I'm $78 million poorer after legal fees, the foundation, and helping Marcus's family. But I'm alive, I'm free, and I'm surrounded by people who actually care about me, not my bank account. Some people say I gave away too much money, that I should have kept it for myself, enjoyed my retirement. But here's what I tell them. I spent 35 years building a fortune. I almost died for it. And I learned that money is just paper if you're not alive to spend it, and it's meaningless if you're spending it alone. The Marcus Thompson Elder Protection Fund has helped 237 seniors in the past 18 months. We've stopped 14 attempted murders, dozens of cases of financial exploitation, and countless scams. We've reunited some families and helped others cut ties safely. Every person we save is a person who didn't die like Marcus's brother almost died. Like I almost died. So if you're watching this, and you're older, and you have money, listen to me. First, don't tell everyone how much you have. Not even your children, especially not your children. Second, trust actions, not words. If someone who loves you is acting strange, there's usually a reason. Third, update your will regularly, and keep it with an attorney, not at home where it can be found and forged. Fourth, install security cameras, good ones, and check them. Fifth, if someone saves your life, pay them. Don't just shake their hand and say thanks. Actually compensate them for what they did. And if you're younger, if you're in debt, if you're looking at your parents' money and thinking it should be yours, stop. Just stop. That money isn't yours. That life isn't yours to take. Your parents don't owe you their death, so you can have a comfortable life. Get therapy. Get a second job. Get help. But don't get blood on your hands. Because I promise you, 25 years in prison is a long time to regret a decision you made in desperation. I visit David's prison once a year. Not because I've forgiven him. I haven't, but because I want him to see what he gave up. Last year, I brought photos of Marcus's kids graduating high school, photos of the seniors we've helped, photos of the life I'm living without him. You could have had all this, I told him through the glass. If you'd just waited, if you'd just asked, if you just loved me more than you loved money. He didn't say anything. He never does. But as I walked out of that prison into the Phoenix sunshine, where Marcus was waiting to drive me home, I realized something. David didn't just try to kill me for money. He killed himself. The person he could have been, the life he could have had, the father who would have given him everything. Eventually, he destroyed all of it for a shortcut that led nowhere but a cell. I'm 72 years old now. I've outlived my wife, outlived the son I thought I had, and probably outlived half the doctors who said I needed to slow down. But I'm not slowing down. I'm building a legacy, not of restaurants or money, but of protection, of justice, of making sure that what happened to Marcus's brother, what almost happened to me, doesn't keep happening. Some nights, I lie awake and wonder if David thinks about what he did, if he regrets it, if he misses me. Most nights, I don't wonder at all, because I'm too busy having dinner with Marcus's family, or reviewing cases for the foundation, or talking to other survivors about how they rebuilt their lives after family betrayal. I'm too busy living the life my son tried to take. And that, more than any prison sentence, more than any amount of money, is the real victory. I'm alive. I'm free. And I'm surrounded by people who proved that family is what you make it, not what you're born into. Officer Marcus Thompson saved my life at 2:47 a.m. on a Friday morning. But in a way, my son did too. He showed me who really mattered. He showed me what really counts. And for that terrible, painful lesson, I'm almost grateful. Almost.